All right. Good morning. Good morning. Let me get this link sent. I'll throw this up. All right. Perfect. All right. Sweet. Harold, saw you in here a little early. First timer. Start my training again. Fuse losing Monday. 2 lucky days open. Never knows. Hey, that's what trading's about, man. Trying to be the best you can every day. Never really know what's next. Just gotta keep growing. Yes, Diego started. Ibram. Morning. How you doing? Diego, good morning, man. Good to see you in here a little early. I usually try to start right at about like 9:10, 9:15. So that's usually when you'll expect me to start these. All right, let's get into it. I don't think anything much on SPY and Qs for me personally today. They had obviously pretty trendy days yesterday until that last hour or so. So don't really like anything on these. No long plays in my opinion, just because the only demand we have is really going to be down here at 523 area. So don't like anything on that. PLTR could be interesting off demand here if we could get that. We are going to have supply here, but I'd be more convinced with the longs. So I'm a fan of that. Amazon. Let's see, are we bouncing off anything? Maybe on these higher time frames, but not sure that's something I would really want to trade off of. And could consider a little 2-hour demand there. Even a demand here on the 45-minute. Wouldn't mind. I think the 2 hours a little cleaner. So we can see if that gives us anything today. Obviously, we'll have supply up here, likely on the 1 hour. So we'd want to take profit around that area. I don't know on the lower time frames what this looks like. Don't mind that, actually. Probably want to see a retrace and break into a new high, something like that. I could be convinced about a trade there. Morning, Ernie. How are you, man? Good to see you as always. Get rid of that stuff. Little 30-minute demand here on IWM. Didn't quite hit that yet. Could see that these little 30 minutes are always a little sketchy on trendy days. Sometimes we get reactions, sometimes we don't. Good thing is we won't necessarily be gapping down, so we won't have to worry about any supply in the way, which is nice. Yeah, if we got bounce from demand and we get a break of a high, be intrigued. Matthew, good morning. How are you? Newer face around, I know you just joined, so welcome in. This is probably your first Wednesday live. So we obviously have the ones that we do on Zoom all the other days of the week, but Wednesdays we're in here. So Goog obviously been trending down lately. So if anything, we'd want to see a supply bounce in this. I'm kind of tempted to actually look at sort of 30-minute supply here. See if we hit that first. I don't love that though. Maybe the 45. Let me do like that. I think that I like that more on the lower time frames. Obviously, it's really the only thing I'd really want to short. Did Apple have a good move yesterday that I just didn't? Yeah, it did. I didn't even look at this. Wouldn't have been great risk reward. I probably would have targeted this high. I would have just missed out on it. So I'm actually kind of okay with not taking that yesterday. Cindy, good morning. Dustin, good morning. I'm well excited to be here, of course, man. Where's that? Alec, Zach is he's just busy now, man. He really is. I know I told you a while back, but he's doing a lot of focus on the back end stuff. He said he wants to try to get on for one of the Wednesday lives soon, but I don't know when he will. But I know he does want to. He does want to try to do them at least a couple times a month. But he is just a busy man. Busy, busy man indeed. This actually looks like could have had an entry around here to push up. I don't know. Apple's a little weird. Alec, are my Wednesday lives not good enough for you, man? Just joking, by the way. Yeah, Kyle stepped away. He had a lot of he had some personal time he took away. And yeah, so he stepped down. So, but we still love Kyle. He'll still be around. He's just had some stuff come up. Morning, Mark. How are you, man? Yeah. Zach's dealing with back end stuff on the business and cows. That's what Zach focuses on. I don't believe you. What have you done with them? Yeah. I was Zach the whole time, man. He's just a busy guy. Good to hear more. Yeah. Kyle was one of the first coaches I brought on, actually. Really good coach. Was definitely sad to lose him, but yeah, family over everything, man. Did I drop? Is everything good? Everything looks good on my side. Am I good for everyone else? Good for you, Matthew. If you can see me and hear me fine, can you just put yes in chat or just like anything? Check mark something. Okay, perfect. So Ernie, it's probably on your end. Morning, by the way, Dawson. How are you, man? Coach. Perfect, Dustin. Thank you. Thank you, Harold. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Scott. Good morning, by the way, Harold. How is this live? I don't know how to answer that question. I'm live currently. This is what I'm doing right now. This is not pre-recorded, if that's what you're asking. Good to hear, Dawson. Dustin, oh, it's live. You know it's live, Dustin. You know it is. Appreciate it, Harold. Closing restarted. Back. Perfect, Ernie. Good here. Markets are closed. Yeah, they open in 8 minutes. So I do a little pre-market before. Try to start like 15, 20 minutes before market opens. Do a little pre-market before, and then we dive in. Coin's actually not horrible for TLM. Balanced out the rest of the day. Wouldn't be my favorite play, but could be decent. Keep an eye on it. Can't be Zach, you don't talk about beef enough. Yeah, that's a fair point. That is a very fair point. AMD actually bounced off demand end of day yesterday. It looks like we're going to break a high. That could be a really good play, actually. AMD is not my favorite long play in the world, but man, Hood passed 70 yesterday. Looking to make a move to 75. Very, very good play. I've kind of been watching, for anyone that's looking for swings, obviously Hood has had good news coming out, and it looks like they might get into S&P. So I've been looking at this demand down here. If we got a retrace off of that, I would be very tempted to do a little swing on it. But I don't think, obviously, I don't think it's going to come down $5 today, but it could be something over the next few days. Erum says, what strategy new here? We trade a lot of supply and demand. I don't talk about everything I use on here, just because that wouldn't be fair to the people who are in the program. So if you want to learn more about the program, I'd be more than happy to send you the link to get on a call and consider joining us. Ryan, good morning, man. How are you? And some steering grass-fed costs in the lives of people. Yeah, I know. Got to pull up the cow futures, or whatever he used to look at. Morning, Jack. How are you? Ernie says, by the way, program is worth it. Yes, sir. That is what we like to hear, man. Glad you found success quickly, man. You've been killing it. I get like a weekly message from John saying, by the way, Ernie is killing it. So it's always good to hear. God, my allergies are killing me this morning. All right. Microsoft, I wouldn't really want to short this. That'd be all there really would be for a TLM play. Not super into that. Maybe a little bit of a demand bounce there if we could get it. I just don't love that demand on the 15-minute. But we could see if we got a reaction. I doubt it, though. Keep an eye on it, though. As many of you know, Microsoft is always bullish, in my opinion. That's just because every time I've ever tried to short Microsoft, they lose. So, always bullish to me. Meta, same thing. Could be a TLM short. Not my favorite play in the world. Keep an eye on it. Where's TSM? TSM's all the way up there. It's probably some sort of supply here, but not really in a short mood. Oracle, no. MU, probably not. HIMS dropped off a decent amount yesterday. Tesla looks like we're bouncing off demand. This could be an interesting play, but we do have supply in the way. We also have supply up here. A lot of stuff on Tesla. Uber maybe a short off this. That's tempting. Roblox, again, maybe a TLM short. I'm putting all these just kind of on my secondary because I'm just not a huge fan of shorts right now. Most of my wins recently have been longs. So I try to stick with what's working the best. That's been longs recently. Some supply on shop, same thing. We'll watch it, but likely won't trade anything. Visa, probably nothing. Yeah. BA, very similar to shop's chart. Possible short. It's going to be hard with a gap up there. Then Mara, probably nothing. So let me get the watch list out to everyone on the team. And I will say all right, sweet. Speaking of Zach, just DM'd me. All right. No more paper trading. Love to hear it. Market's headed up. Longs are running with the bulls. Yeah. Yeah. Big fan of longs right now, personally. So we will watch these, see what we got today. Some decent opportunities. Nothing here stands out as my favorite. I think Goog's probably the only thing I'd short right now, honestly, because of what it's been doing. Don't typically trade swings, but check out Rivian's 4-hour chart. To me, it looks like we're getting a nice reaction after making a new high. Then we trace 50%. Rivian am I being dumb? Rivian's a car brand, right? They make those like those G-Wagon type things. Yeah, bounce from like a 4-hour demand. Good reaction. Good retrace. Yeah, if you got around that 1420 area, I would like it. I didn't know their stock was so cheap. That is them. Yeah. I remember seeing that like their concept stuff like years ago, and then the car came out. It's like mad expensive, right? Yeah, pretty cheap stock. Yeah, Amazon's something that's, I think, on a retrace I'd be interested in. Something in that area. Target up there. It's a really good risk reward too. If we get back down there. Goo goes through first supply. Still would like a reaction off that other one. AMD breaks the high. AMD's another one on a retrace. I would look for Apple. Makes new high. Apple's just kind of retraced already. Just feel like that would be a tough one. Microsoft opens a little higher than I thought. Meta, I guess Meta did bounce off demand here. Huh. Something that could be interesting as well if we break highs. Tesla moving down. Uber's moving up. This Uber bounce off. No. Not at all. I was gonna say maybe for longs, but Guess Roblox just instantly rotated. No higher time frame demand, so I won't care about that anymore. Shop could work up to supply and get a bounce. BA bounced off supply well. At this point, we'd probably want to see a low break. Amazon's continuing its push. Could still get good risk reward on a retrace, but I don't think it's going to retrace. IWM didn't quite hit demand. It's a bit unfortunate. Truck looks pretty sweet. I've seen them around town. I haven't seen one in person at all, but they are pretty sweet. AMD, same kind of thing here. Retrace there. Not the best break in the world by any means. So it wouldn't be my favorite play. What do we have on the 30? Nothing really in the way. Could target this high, could target supply. Not bad at all. Microsoft coming down. That'd be a little bit of a weird one. Meta, same exact sort of thing we're looking for there. See if we find that. Stick on the 5 minute for a little bit here. 5 minutes a lot cleaner on all of these. I just don't think Uber bounced off anything. There's just nothing it bounced off. PLTR moves down. Past demand. Yeah. I mean, we could look to the upside for a TLM trade. Amazon basically hits supply. Unless we wanted to not include wick and target here. I just feel like that's bold because the 45, it's pretty clear there. The 1 hour, it's pretty clear here. And it would still give us decent risk reward. I don't know if I really want to play for 1.18. Tesla fall. I'm not in the business of predicting really. It definitely could though. It looks better for shorts than longs. I'll give you that much. Oh, will it affect SPY? Not really. Tesla falls, it shouldn't affect SPY that much. Roku TLM, John, you know me and Roku, man. They don't mix. They do not mix. And Meta pushed all the way up. That would be quite the stop on Meta. Trade would take quite a while. I'm not sure I'm in love with that. Okay, so BA pushes through. Looks like it might work down to demand. Again, that would be pretty ballsy fighting that trend there. Amazon could move down. And I really wish IWM hit that demand. That'd be such a good setup. Still a fan of AMD. And Meta is ripping this morning. Wow. If Tesla breaks that supply or that demand, sorry, could be good for shorts. I don't know where you get an entry on it, but could definitely be decent. Should probably get. Isn't there news today? Probably, man. When isn't there news? I'm gonna get my Thinkorswim open. Let's see news. Yes, PMI at 10. Good call. Very good call. So you don't really want to be in anything until 10, but 937. AMD could move up before that. Would probably be tight though. Market does seem like it's pushing up more than anything as well, which is nice. Yeah, the 10 a.m. A lot of news happens at 10. It's always a little bit annoying because most of the time, if you're looking at day trade, especially with hard trading, you're probably going to be in your trade before 10. So AMD doesn't quite come down enough. Man, Meta is just flying. Meta have good news come out or something? I don't know what it would have had come out, but this thing is flying. I don't know about anything there. PLTR would be tough to convince you to go along with what it's doing. Announce a nuclear ideal or something. Interesting. Gotcha. Target on Amazon would be the 1 hour supply. That's what it would be. You're looking at about that first stop. What about like that? Maybe not. See how we react to the 50 around here. No worries, Ernie. Want to see how we react to that level. We'll be a little more hesitant. Just with the news and you deal with Constellation, Siege, and nuclear energy power. Interesting. Well, it seemed like the news did good for them. It's not great for Amazon. Trump's also having a tariff meeting soon here with China. Is that happening this morning? JP Morgan just priced Target Meta $735 from $675. Wow. I guess it makes sense though. Already at $679 and moving up more. AMD moves down as well. Just gonna be patient with these. Especially something like AMD. Do I want to? That's the question. Risky with news, for sure, in both of these. Good rejections on the 5 minutes. I like what Amazon's doing for sure. AMD not set up for TLM play. Just has supply in the way, I believe. Or demand, sorry. So I'd much rather play the demand bounce than play AMD short, just because if I was looking for an AMD short, I'd want to see it break lows. Like I'd really want to see it like break this low. And if I'm looking long, that's the low I'd want it to break anyway. So to me, it's a no-brainer that longs are set up better. Now, of course, anything can happen, right? But longs look a little better to me. I think a lot of people get a little confused sometimes with the, when there is supplier demand inside TLM. Like, yes, technically it could be set up for TLM, but the problem is one of the things that keeps us out of those types of trades is a supplier demand zone in the way. So being that we have that, I would not be looking short. And also the market recently, I mean, just look at recent trends, even let's look at AMD on the 2 hour, right? Like AMD has been working its way up the past few days, and even past few weeks has been working up. We obviously broke that most recent high after making a new low. So overall, it feels a little more bullish, which as people who have, been with the team for a while and have been in these lives for a while know that I am an AMD holder for quite a while. So I will always root for AMD to go up, even though there was a lot of times there when my rooting did nothing. But yeah, Amazon, just beautiful reaction. Yeah, birds chirping outside. It could be the clicking of my mouse, but there are also birds, so you could be hearing that. I doubt my mic would pick that up though. My mic sensitivity is pretty low, so I doubt you could hear that, but it's probably the clicking of my mouse is what you hear. I know sometimes on the lives you can hear it, and then sometimes you can't. So I try to adjust it so you guys can't hear it, but sometimes it comes through. So if you are hearing that, it's my apologies. It's just in the mornings, I'm not talking very loud. So I have my mic sensitivity a little higher just because I tend to mumble a little bit in the morning. So I don't want people to say they can't hear me. Lil says, gotcha, thank you, very new. Yeah, that's fine. That is fine. Don't worry. Like, would I like to see a strong close to that candle on AMD personally? Not a huge fan of that. What do we look like on 2? So that's just the most recent 1 minute pushing it down. A little unfortunate. The risky thing with these plays always, kind of like how I've set up right now, similar to, God, I'm sure someone that's in Freedom Team knows what trade I'm talking about, but the trade I took recently that was similar to this with a gap up. But if you don't have that upwards pressure on the day, it's hard to get it, even though structurally it makes sense to go up. It's always a little harder to get it. So AMD might fall just due to that, just if the trend for the day is down, which is a little bit unfortunate. Amazon looking stronger, obviously, but we'll see if AMD can recover a little bit. Amazon's getting good candles though. Maybe no tab open birds. Maybe. It's probably my mouse clicking though. AMD's not listening to you. No, AMD's not listening to me. As much as I wish it did. AMD is, for a while there, AMD was my biggest loser in terms of my holdings. I don't think it is now. I think SoFi is right now. AMD, I think long term I'm green on AMD. I think my average buy-in on it is like around 100. So up on it pretty well. Well, glad the mic's good. Wasn't cheap, so it better be good. What even is my average price on AMD? Yeah, 104. Hopefully we can get some upwards movement. AMD looks like it might push down. A little unfortunate if it does. What's PLTR doing? PLTR still falling. Is this off supply or something? No, it can't be. That's all-time highs. Huh. PLTR has been all over the place. Very weird stock to watch recently. 10 a.m. another Zoom. See you again another day. No worries, Harold. Enjoy your day, man. Market's starting to drop a bit, yeah. See if this drop continues or if we start to get the buyers step in. It's been happening. You can even look for, like yesterday in the morning, kind of that first five minutes was a push down, and then obviously we recovered a lot. It's kind of been how we've been opening days outside of Monday, but a lot of these days have been opening red and then ending up pushing up, so not too worried about it. See where it goes though. AMD is definitely holding itself up more than AMD is right now. Amazon, sorry. I think I said AMD twice. Amazon's holding up more than AMD. But see where both of them go. Obviously, if the market falls, could be a double L, but we'll see what PMI does. I do try to not let news affect my trading too much. Obviously, you want to be aware of it, but if you see a good setup, most of the time the news won't kick you out of it. Most of the time. There are the times it does. Anything else moving well? IWM is such, it would be such a good demand bounce if it actually hit it. Just didn't. It really sucks. This could be our rejection here on AMD. I'd be okay with that. If we make a new low, it's a little worrying. Amazon, you just want to see hold these levels. Get some water in me. Gotta stay hydrated. It's dropping a ton. Looks like nothing there. And Apple would have been good off open. Would have been good yesterday as well. I think that was the play on Apple. Somewhere in this area to get in. Would have been a really good play. This coin today? Interesting. It's a good move on coin. Microsoft pushes up off a demand bounce. I think that's a 15-minute though. Not a huge fan of that. Meta continuing. Tesla pushed through. Just didn't have anything to really short it off of though. Uber, I'm not going to look for anything. Shop could work up to supply. We'll have to see. Yeah, not a fan of that on AMD at all. it's not great. News here in a couple minutes. See what it does. Hopefully it's good numbers. We can get a push up. Maybe not all the way, but if we get a good push up to recover some of this, that'd be nice. How's if you remember Store Smiths? I had Smiths when I lived in New Mexico. I love Smiths. It's a great store. Did Smiths actually go out of business? No way. Not out of business. Why some locations may have closed. Still operates under the Kroger umbrella. I was about to say, no way. There's so many Smiths in New Mexico. Just literally from where I lived, I think I had 2 Smiths within like a 10-15 minute drive of me. Push on Amazon. I like that. They aren't there anymore. Interesting. I still want. I'm glad nothing is near. The only time I start to get a little worried about news is when a trade that I'm in is like near a stop at news. I'll usually sell out of it just because sometimes when those news spikes happen, the contracts just go really wild. If you're set up with an OCO, you can really get screwed. And trust me, I'm saying that from experience. I had an IWM loss last year that was like quadruple my risk because the contracts went wild in news. And unfortunately, it was news I didn't even know was happening. I'm usually pretty on top of news, but that day I was not. So I was trying to make it a habit to check it pre-market. No bueno, it looks like. Looks like PMI might take us out of this one. What's Amazon doing? Not a crazy reaction on Amazon. AMD pushed down. This did happen. Was that yesterday? News came out that was pretty bad. Almost stopped us out. Ended up reversing. That was yesterday, I believe. Whatever that was. I know Ernie was in that trade. Yeah, PMI is bad. It's unfortunate. What do we got? Oh, yeah. Not great. Not great at all. On the plus side, Amazon stayed up, which is good. So it means even with the news, Amazon buyers are still present. See if we can get a similar thing to yesterday. That would be pretty incredible if the same thing happened back-to-back days. So I highly doubt it'll happen, but it would be pretty cool. Oh, the market recently has just like seemed very bullish compared to, even a couple months ago, where like if there was news, man, a couple months ago, you might as well just short. Like it was bad. But now it seems like the market can kind of eat through even bad news, which is nice. I say that as Amazon drops, but well, I just ordered a bunch of Amazon stuff. That's funny. I don't want to see a freaking red day in the market, man. Especially after yesterday. Yesterday was such a good day for the overall market. Be a shame if that all got wiped away. Oh, that is not a good candle on Amazon at all. We don't like those. Because I did be on that. Came down even more. Broke that low. That's why it's so important to make sure these plays that you're looking at actually hit your supply or demand zone, because that low that you're using as a stop is super important. And if that doesn't hit your actual zone, the likelihood that's going to hold is way down. It looks like AMD is going to stop out. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Hey, you play the risk with news. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. All good. We can get that over with. Call that an L. I'll put in the notes, bad PMI killed it. Unfortunate. See where Amazon goes. Hopefully PMI doesn't kill this as well. It might though. It might just kill it. Let's go on the, not the best. Oh, she used to turn it. Maybe she did. Yeah, coin goes down. Not any great opportunity on coin that you would have entered here, but it does move through TLM well. Hopefully someone puts some Amazon orders in to throw this up. I doubt it though. Might be a rough day at the office, we'll see. Yeah, a lot of other stuff falling pretty hard. Not what you want to see. Looks like the market is gonna tank on us. It sucks, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's fine. Q's dumping, I assume. Yeah. But unfortunate. News can do that. News can kill you. Not great numbers at all. Yeah, at this rate, I don't know if that's gonna help us, Dustin. We need to buy out like everything. Yeah, everything's dropping. PLTR is having a rough day. Unfortunate. Obviously, we're not going to sell early, so still a small hope for recovery, but probably just going to accept this L here, and we'll call it a bad day at the office. Move on to the next day. Luckily, though, that win, the win from yesterday basically makes up for it, which is good. PLTR dropping over 5%. Levels not seen since last week. Yeah, I know. PLTR, man, it's going through it. Looks like we are going to move down to a demand, though. Not that I would necessarily want to go long on this, but could move down to a decent spot for a reversal. PLTR has been all over the place, though. I'm sure, Alec, you remember, like, back when, like, we first started talking about PLTR, like, the moves were so, like, it was such a more stable stock. And that's why it was so easy to trade. Because, like, it would have drops, but, like, the drops weren't crazy. I mean, the rips weren't that insane either, but it just moves so smooth. The setups were so easy to see. It was just, it was a pure money maker. Really need to get a really solid 5-minute candle on this next one here on Amazon, or else the looks of this is not great. You really wouldn't feel, you're not going to feel comfortable about this Amazon trade until we come up and break like these highs. This 206.70 area. That's when I'd start to feel like, okay, we're turning around. Until then, you're kind of just accepting it's likely going to be a loss. Like I said, we got something similar to yesterday. That reversed and ended up being a win. So see if we can do that again. You blindly buy calls and cash in. Yeah, you really could. I think I did that once on PLTR. I think there was one day where I just like, I'd made some profits the day before. And I was like, you know what? Let me buy PLTR calls. And it was really more of like a swing play that was going to hold for like a few days and end up just like ripping that day. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take it. Yeah. Yeah, the fact it's holding is good, but again, I would feel comfortable till we break highs. But it is a good look that's holding these sort of levels, and clearly the stop's good. Obviously the AMD stop is good as well, but AMD had a little less room just in terms of percentage here. So just because of where it was when news happened, it was a little lower. So that kind of forced it down, which sucks. The other thing on AMD too, that the break just isn't good. Like objectively, it's not a good break. It's a wick above. So I probably should have seen that and stayed out of it. But it's something to note down. I'm actually going to go over to my journal right now and add to the notes section that the break was just a wick, not great break. So little things to add to your journal. Little things like that can make the difference when you go back and do journal reviews. You're short and long on demand to supply from gaps. Good. Yeah, I do. You still have to see good structure. But yeah, most of the time when stuff gaps up or gaps down, you're gonna have to wait until we get some sort of a retracement back to a certain level. That will make you, one, get better risk reward, but two, just feel more comfortable with the trade, risk wise. So I do, but I'm typically waiting until it moves in one direction where you get better risk reward on it. Interesting, AMD had a back-to-back greens here. Amazon lost a decent amount of value on the last one. You'd really want to see Spire Qs move up as well. Likely would move up with Amazon. So if you get that, it'd be good. IWM hits demand as well. That's something maybe later in the day, if you're looking at it, if we continue a push up and break some highs. Could look for a move down off of that to then push back up. All right, Amazon, let's keep moving, man. Meta, man. So strong today. Goog something is back at these. I'll go look at this on a higher time frame, but back at these levels, like I just think below 170 on Goog is such a steal, man. I really do. It's not something I have shares of right now, but I just feel like the levels it's at is so good for long term. It's like the 0DT put buying accelerants by. Is it really? Wow. %1,000% agree, yeah. Goog just feels like one of those things that, like, you get it below 170, there's just no way, and you hold it for 3 to 5 years, it's going to be less than that. I just refuse to believe that. Obviously, it's not like I don't think it's a big money maker for, let's say, the next 6 to 12 months, but hold it for a few years, I think it's kind of an easy money grab. A lot of people just don't want to wait that long, unfortunately. They're just part of the AI future in a very boring way, yeah. And it's such a big company with a share price of 168 right now. Like even look at Apple, look at Amazon, look at even Microsoft and Meta, like where their share prices are compared to Google. Just feels like such a steal. This is not looking like a great candle on Amazon. Last 2 minutes will be big. I feel like watching trades on like a 5-minute time frame is so much better than watching on a lower time frame, in my opinion. I like it way more. I think if Amazon pushes up, it honestly could go higher than where I have it targeted, but I think I'd play it pretty safe. Really like what Apple's going to do with themselves. Yeah, I still have a ton of Apple long term. Their chart looked good as well. We have this demand down here. I bought leaps off of this demand for Apple. That ended up selling once we got around that 215 area. I think I sold it somewhere in here right before this gap down at like 210. They paid well. They paid very well. IWM shorts, reject off new supply formed, new low can retrace, no on a higher time frame uptrend. I actually liked IWM longs, but I see why you would like shorts, right? Off of this. I do see what you're saying. It's probably a better play, honestly, to look short on it. It's always so hard with these days where we trend up big, because these lows that we get just aren't super impactful. But for me personally, I'd rather wait to see if we get another break here and then look for like a retrace off of that, or see if we come up and break supply and look for a retrace off that. Personally, that's what I'd rather look for. I don't think it'd be a necessarily bad play though to get in around this area and look short though. I don't think so. The supply here, or the demand here, isn't great, right? This 30 minutes not the best demand, so I understand why you'd look short. I think I'd rather wait for another break of a low or that break of supply, which, judging by kind of what the market's doing overall right now, like where we're at right now is really impactful to the rest of the day. Are we going to fail to make a new high and break into lows again, or are we going to come up and make new highs and continue the push? So this area we're in right now, right around that retrace, is going to be really impactful the rest of the day. And judging based off the reaction we're kind of getting across the board at this area, I would probably put my money on it going lower, to be honest with you. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm obviously going to be rooting for longs just because of Amazon, but we'll see where it goes. It's one of the best and worst things about the market is it's random and no one knows what it's going to do. I say no one. There's definitely people out there that know what it's going to do, but you know what I mean. But yes, I don't mind it. Sure, you just hit that area as well. Yeah. Would have a lot of room to go down also. Target around that 207 area. But we will see. Something I didn't even mention that you mentioned, right? Higher time frame trend is up. So that's the other thing. Do you want to go against that? Obviously, not good news. Clearly does push us against it, but wait till 61.8. Yeah, that's fair. Nothing wrong with waiting for more of a retrace. Sometimes I do like to wait for more of a retrace, especially on plays that I'm not super confident in, right? Because then the risk reward makes it a little more worth it. Obviously, you shouldn't just, even if the play like doesn't make sense, you shouldn't say, oh well, I'll just wait till the 61%, right? You shouldn't do that. But if it's one of those plays where, like you're doing right now, right, where maybe you're fighting the higher time frame trend, but you feel confident in it, you wait for a bigger retrace, you make the reward a little more worth it if it hits. I've been in Amazon, but that's all I'm in right now. But we'll see where this goes. I'd be lying if I said I'm feeling super confident in it. I don't like that we got back up this area and are rejecting it again. I don't like that at all. But hopefully we can get it's not the worst 5-minute candle. A little choppy on the 1 minute. Really need a good 5-minute green here. It's a little one from Hector. There's more setups, but guarantee a 1.5 at least on anything that hits. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Hector's like the king of the 61.8. He's been using that for, God, as long as I can remember. So obviously he was more taught the 50, but I don't remember Hector ever using the 50. I feel like I always remember him using the 61. But Hector's a fantastic trader. Really is. Super patient guy. That's what makes him really good. Don't love that. Need a good push. Well, we're eyeing that 10:30 mark. I don't want to sit here forever watching this Amazon trade, so I'll probably let this play out. See if Amazon can recover the AMD loss for me, or if we're just going to add to it. Either way, two good setups. I'm not bothered by it. But yeah, I'm going to let this play out, have the OCO set, see where it goes, and yeah, then we'll go on from there. See what we can get into tomorrow. Yeah, hoping for the Amazon win. I will see most of you Friday. But for the people just on YouTube, I'll see you guys next Wednesday. But yeah, to the guys on the team, I'll see you Friday. We'll see where Amazon goes. And yeah, hopefully the market does continue to rise like Scott is saying it looks like it is. Good push on SPY and Qs there. So hopefully we can continue to push up. We'll see what IWM's doing, maybe. But yeah, I will go ahead and see you guys Friday for you guys on team. ERUM. Let me just throw this out there, ERUM. So obviously I can't dive into everything on here. So let me let's see. Let me get this for you. If you want to book a call with us, learn everything, hop on that link and maybe we can get you in the Freedom Team. Teach you everything we know. Appreciate it, Diego. But yeah, for the rest of you, I'll see you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, talk to you guys later.